Hello students, in the last class we have learned about meristematic tissues. If you have not gone through this video, please go to that video first. Now do you recall what are meristematic tissues? Meristematic tissues were living tissues, and as they were living they used to divide also. Dividing tissues, alright. Now all these meristematic tissues divide, they grow, and at one stage they become old or aged or they become mature. Same thing only, right? And once they mature, they stop dividing, eventually they become dead, most of them, and hence they are termed as permanent tissue, right? So essentially permanent tissue is nothing but old meristematic tissues only, right? Now after learning the basics of permanent tissue, let us try to understand the various types of permanent tissues. There are two kinds of permanent tissues, simple and complex. Let's try to understand simple permanent tissues first. The very first kind of simple permanent tissue is called parenchyma. Parenchyma. You have to be careful with the spelling of the word. Parenchyma. Alright. Now what is parenchyma tissue? These are mostly living, and the cells of the tissues are loosely arranged, right? That means there are spaces in between them, right? And what is the function of this kind of tissues? This kind of tissues stores food. Alright. Now there are various versions of parenchyma tissues. One version is, if it is green, if the parenchyma tissue is green in color, that means it contains chlorophyll. If it contains chlorophyll, then it is called chlorenchyma. Alright. Okay. Now there is another kind that is found in aquatic plants. Aquatic plants like water hyacinth. What happens in those plants is that the parenchyma tissues, because there is space between them, in these spaces inside you have air, right? As a result the aquatic plant can float above the water because of the presence of this kind of tissue, and this kind of tissues are called parenchyma. Alright, so you're getting some new terms here. So let me revise all these things. First was parenchyma, loosely arranged, cells are loosely arranged, there is space between them. Then if it contains green color, chlorophyll, then it becomes chlorenchyma. And if it is present in aquatic plant, it is called parenchyma. The parenchyma helps the aquatic plant to float above the water, right? So this is the very first kind, parenchyma. There are two more kinds. Let's try to learn these two kinds now. The next type of simple permanent tissue is called the collenchyma. These are all new words for you. You need to be very careful with the spelling of these terms. Now what does collenchyma do? Collenchyma provides flexibility to the plant. Alright, so flexibility means it helps in bending. Bending of what? Bending of stems or tendrils, right? So for example, if the stem is bending, right, this bending is because of parenchyma only. All right, and it also provides support to the plant. All right, so these are the functions of parenchyma. There is one more kind. Let's go to that kind now. The third kind of simple permanent tissue is sclerenchyma. I have already written spelling over here. Now what does sclerenchyma do? It provides stiffness to the plant and it makes the plant hard. The hardness or the stiffness is because of sclerenchyma. So since it provides stiffness and hard, it is living or dead? Of course, you can understand this must be dead, the dead tissue. All right. Now, where do you get these things? In a husk of a coconut. If you take a coconut and you get this husk, right? It's called husk. This husk is nothing but the sclerenchyma. All right. So because it is hard, you can understand the seeds are basically covered by this sclerenchyma. Also, you can take a nut, right? This nuts, they are getting covered is because of the sclerenchyma only, right? As a homet tamul guli ko, it is a nut, right? Nut to cover kori thake na eta portion that is nothing but the sclerenchyma, because very hard, right? Narikolar hok, tamulor hok, bahir outer cover to both hard thake, so it is made up of sclerenchyma only, right? So let me write the examples here. So this is the husk of a coconut, and this is a nut, and this is a seed, right? So in this video overall we have learned all the simple permanent tissues: parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. My advice to you people is that please make proper notes in your copy, because তুমি যেতিয়া কপিত লিখিবা তেতিয়াহে তোমাৰ টাৰ্মছ বিলাক ক্লিয়াৰ হ'ব। ভিডিঅ'টো চোৱাটো অকল নহয়, please make proper notes in your copy, ঠিক আছে? In the next video we will go to complex permanent tissue.